So for some of you that may be using a limited environment, specifically an environment that does not allow you to use the HTML to text capability found within Flow, Power Automate, then this is going to be a very interesting video for you. Now I've broken it out into multiple steps here so that it makes it easier for everyone to follow along. You can combine some of these variables if you choose, or just use it as is. So let's go ahead and take a look at this scenario here to see if this video is of importance to you. So here what we're saying is anytime that somebody sends a text message, an email thread, excuse me, into my folder, I automatically have a rule. So remember, you can set up rules within Outlook. So pull that up. There it is right there. So anytime a message with AC24 in the subject line, I want a little notification, and then I want you to move it into the AC24 folder, which you're seeing right there. Okay, so that's what we're doing. We're capturing this email, but we need to capture the content of this email, test, and then 16. Okay, that's all we need to do. And we're separating it by a semicolon. It could be anything, by the way, any separation at all. So this is easy when you use the HTML to text converter. Although without that, or without your ability to do it, and for those of you that are listening that are in federal environments, that is a feature that's restricted in federal environments. So you have to do a workaround and do it old school without that nice little component HTML to text. So I'm going to show you how to do that inside of here. And we're going to go ahead and walk through this. I'm going to walk you through here step by step of exactly what we're doing, when we're doing it, and how we're doing it. And then we'll look over here at Power Automate or Flow to look at it. We are not using the new designer. We could use the new designer. It would show it up over here, but I'm not using it in this demo. So let's go ahead and jump right into the content itself. So what is it when we receive an email? We want to go ahead and process that email. So the first thing you need to do, now remember, all of these are right here. Insert a new step, but this one we created as a new trigger when we created our flow. So let me just, I know you're only seeing part of my screen here, but let's go ahead and just go to Power Automate. And we're going to say create a new flow. Yeah, it looks like my internet's taking a few minutes today. There we go. So we can just go to create a new flow. We can say an automated cloud flow, which I've done. And then the trigger is email arrive. I think I can get it there right here. And I'm using this one right here. Okay, when a new email arrives. So that's where we're at right here. So if you haven't added that, do it. Now I've just selected the folder like we explained before, and then that's it. That's really all I'm doing. Then I'm taking here with a variable. So this is initiate variable. So if you just hit add action and type in there it is right there. Initialize a variable. Okay. So we're just initializing a variable, and what we're doing with this is we're creating a variable, string variable. We're just initializing it here, okay? And then in the next step, what you'll do is you'll just say set a variable, and this loop box right here, this will appear automatically for you, okay? So don't worry about it. It's going to put in that value right there, outputs, and we're going to set the variable here. So this is the variable that we have, and we're going to set the variable to the body of the email message. So we want, again, we want to have that body of the email message right there. That's in the body. Okay, so that's what we're doing there. So let me pause. I know you're like, wow, that was pretty fast. Let's pause and look at this in the document, and I would suggest you just pause your video to kind of read the instructions that I have here on the screen as well. Okay, so we got the new email, it arrived, we initiated a variable right here called var email body, and then we added the set variable. When we did that, this flow, this loop appeared for us, okay? In there, we're calling the variable. When you click on this down arrow, you'll see this variable. It's the only one you have in your flow. And then here, we're just going to add it as a variable of content. So let's go and take a look, see what that looks like. If you look at that dynamic content, it's right there under body. You have expressions and dynamic content. We're doing dynamic content, okay? So our document, let's go back to our document here real quick. Our document is just that. We've just set that, okay? Now, the email body, it's important to note these two differences because we need to capture the information found within the body right there. Do you see it? But if you just go off of the email before we set the variable, so if you go and just pull the data from here, because you can pull this data right here and populate it. If you do that, then you're going to get this data. That's not what we want. We want the HTML code. So when we set the variable, as I've explained here, when we do this process, we're going to get this code. This is a very important step. So if you did not understand what I said, that's okay. Just make sure that you're doing this right here. I'm trying to explain the logic behind it, but make sure you've got these steps in because we don't want the information directly from the email here because it appears in this format. We need to set it as a variable for that body of information so that it appears in this format. Okay? That's all we need to do. Okay? So we're going to convert it basically into this HTML. Notice here you have body right there. We're going to look at that here in just a moment. So let's go ahead and continue forward. So here we're going to set some variables. Now, could you do this differently? You could do this differently. We're just doing it this way so that I can explain it easier. There's two commands that you need to do. We need to do a last split variable right there. That's the first one. And then a first. Okay? So for we're going to set the email body first. So let's go ahead and look at this in our code itself. So we're done here. We're good there. Now we're starting to talk about variables. So this is set it before. So this is everything before this right here. Now let's go ahead and take a look, see if I still have that. Good, I do. Okay. This is the HTML. Okay? Right here. And look, this is the body of the HTML. Now when we go down, the nuggets of information that we want is right here. So this is the information that we want. Test, and then separated by a semicolon, 16. We're going to deal with these spaces in as well. It's called a trim. But right now, this is what we're dealing with. This is, you can do this for any piece of text, but you need for it to be unique. So for example, this phrase right here, okay, right there is unique. If we were to hit copy and then go into this and hit find, okay, we're going to come up with one, okay, and that's it. So that is a unique attribute to this information that we're parsing, that right there. So you can copy that directly, whoops, wrong one, directly into your flow. And do you see it right there? There it is, right there. Okay, so there it is inside of the flow that we're initializing. So if we click on this bad boy and take a look at him, notice here that we're splitting the variable, okay? And we have to put in variables. We're naming the variable var email body, which is right here. We collected that, right? And then we're going over here and we're using that phrase that we collected from the notepad right here. That's the information that we're putting in. Do you see it right there? Same information. followed by single quotes. That's it. So we're gonna get rid of everything before, basically. Okay? So everything before the string that we want is now gone because we parsed it out. Now we're going to take in this one and we're going to do the same thing, but notice here we're going to take everything after. Okay? And we're going to use this as our unique attribute right here. Span style equals. It's unique. I'm not going to go through the explanation again, but if we look at it here, there it is right there. So I'm grabbing everything from here, okay? And that's it. I think I stop right there. I stop right here, okay? So now when I get done, this is all that I'm going to see. All right? So that's how we do that. And there's the code. Again, pause the video if you need to. Now, oh, we just did that one. No, we didn't. Okay, so what does this result in? Let's go ahead and take a look at the document again real quick. So here we went and we did that, right? We pulled from this variable email body. Notice it's right there under the variable. And we sorted based, we pulled out, parsed everything before this, right? This was the last, okay? And you can see it right there, okay? And we talked about that. The next one we did was the before, right, which is all of the text after the desired text. And I know it says first and last, but it is what it is, okay? So, and this is the code right here that we used. Now, what's the result? That's what's key. The result is we're going to get right here, test, that's what we got. And when we look at the note here, that's what we should get, right? Because that's what we highlighted, that's what we have. Okay, so that's good, right? Everything works. So that's good. Although this is two pieces of text that we need to take, we need to slice it down even more. Now, we could have done that up here, by the way. We could have just written these differently, but I wanted to show this to you just in case you're only collecting one piece of data, right? But in this case, we're collecting two pieces of data, so that's okay. We're just gonna split it again. So notice here that we're saying last split variables. We're pulling after this one, our last known good one, right? And we're saying, now that shouldn't say C in there. It should say this. And we're pulling it out. You can see it, we're pulling it out, initialize. And notice that we're using the semicolon there. Now, that works great. And here's the code for that. Again, pause the video if you need to capture kind of what we're doing in the logic here. Now, note that there's a space there before the 16. And we had kind of noticed that here, right? This is this space, right? Whoops. Where did it go? That's that space right here. That space. And then there's a space right there too. So we don't want those spaces in our table, in our list. So we're going to have to use something called trim. So that's what we're doing here. So we're saying, notice here, var text before, var text before. Okay. So we're basically taking this information, this output, which has a space in it. And let's show you that. I think I took a picture. Oh, that's after the trim. Let's see here. Oh, there it is right there. So notice here the space which we highlighted, and there's space. That's what happens. So we're going to need to trim it. This is the code to trim it. And then what you end up with is this right here, just a 16, which is what we do, which is what we want. We do the same thing here with this, okay? We initialize, we pull the data again from the var email after desired text, which is this one. Okay, we pull the data from there, and then we say chop off the extra space, right? And that's what we do there in the trim, in our compose action. Now, that's what we need to do to get rid and to sort through the data. So let's just briefly, here we got this data from our first set of split. Now we split it again, that data again, but we notice that there's a space, and we trim out the space. We repeat, notice, and there's our result, good to go. And we do the same thing here. We have the same problem. We need to trim it. So we're going to trim it, and you can see that right there. And then there's the result It's by itself. Now, we need to add this to a SharePoint list. This is kind of our last step. So I've created a SharePoint list called AC24. Notice here this is a single line of text and a number value. Okay, so app name and hours. Now we're just going to create the item from the outputs that we have within our flow. So these are our outputs, right? And what's nice about flow is that we can kind of build on what we've done previously. That's the whole point, right? A flow, right? So here, when we go down here, we can just write in outputs. Now, notice here that, oh, they're both there. So I could have just said for text after, clicked on here, put outputs, and then did the same thing there, outputs. But it's the exact same code. I just wanted to show you what the code looked like. Just in case, sometimes when you pull these things up, they don't show up where they're supposed to under dynamic content. They wouldn't show there, so you'd have to hand key it in. And this is the expression right here. So we're just saying, hey, give me the output from trim var text after, right there, trim var text after, and I want to use that here to the app name. And then for the hours, I want to do the same output, but I want to do the before. Okay, so you can see before there. And so that's the other trim, before and after. Then what will happen is it'll go in your SharePoint list. So let's go ahead and look at that. And there it is. Now you have your numeric value. Let's go ahead and edit this in grid mode. Notice that there's no spaces. No spaces. We know there's no spaces because this is a numeric field, so it's aligning properly to the right. And we're good to go. So now we can take this information just from those emails. We can get tons of emails that are giving us an app name and hours, and then we can automatically use Power Automate again to calculate all these, or even use Power Apps to do that. So that is how you parse out your data without using HTML to text connector within Flow. Good luck.